I can't hear you. I'm sorry, sir. My very first question would be, how important is it for you to remain relevant with the youth? It's not. That ain't no bullshit, man. But no, hear me. You won't interview me, and I'm gonna ask you. Okay? Queen Elizabeth asked her, how come they ain't talk to Charles? That ain't no bullshit, man. That's her son. We'll be dead before she let him. Y'all put all that old bullshit. Nobody go. Huh? The army don't go and recruit motherfuckers and take them to a general's office. It's a game. They told y'all that marching is over, and yet and still every major army on the planet right now, you march. The march is the heartbeat. And once I shake your heartbeat down, I can tell if you fit to be in my army. Okay? All that old bullshit that black folks is just like a bunch of crabs in a pot of hot water. You ever heard that? Once one gets to the top, that's the hot water that do that, nigga, not the fucking crap. Y'all come with this old bullshit that you heard your fucking mom and dad say, and ain't none of it no good. None of it. No good. Let me tell you something. If you were on the Confederate flag, down. First, you have to understand, Hitler was so nasty that you better not go to Germany today and bring a SWAT stick outside. Your ass go to jail without a trial. That's how filthy this country is. Okay? That's how filthy this country is. And when you get through, look up the Indigo children. They here started being born in 85. They traveled to outer space at night. And y'all sitting here talking about it, we're going over, we'll look at a goddamn football game. It's not, man. When we went out there and changed this thing around, we didn't have to go looking for nobody. The army was there. And so what you do is pull them over and do something else. Huh? Talk to them. And do something else because the rhythm then changes. Totally changed. Football be obsolete in 15 more years. Nobody be playing no goddamn football. Why? Because your son, if he's in grade school, high school, you're going to sign a disclaimer. And if he get his head messed up, they don't pay. That's what this is for. The whole rhythm will change. The whole rhythm will change. Okay? If you're 6 years old now, huh? For the first 6 years of their life, the most powerful nation in the world, you saw a black man. And in 2 more years, for 8 years, you saw a black man. And if there's going to be an election, which my folks, you don't believe it's going to be one, when Hillary wins, you will say, I didn't know a white person would be president of the United States. The whole fucking mind didn't change, man. Y'all still sitting there with some old gobbledygook shit. Huh? That's what it's about.
Let me ask you about Boehner then. What do you think about Boehner just stepping down out of nowhere?
Well, first you have to answer the question.
I was saying, like, you know, he
no, but you ask me a fucking question, I'm finna get up and get the fuck out of here. Huh? You the brain surgeon. I don't know nothing about brain surgery. You gonna sit here. I paid $2 million researching breast milk, and you ain't talking no goddamn comment. Huh? So I'm trying to tell you, and you keep cutting. I want to hear what the fuck you got to say. Here. My mama's mama. 8 generations of niggas was the nanny to white folks. I did it because I want to know how many generations take before they become niggas until you understand the power of milk. Huh? That's what you look at when you look at all them motherfuckers coming, yelling and hollering. Rich white folks going by dungarees with holes in them. Huh? That's what I'm saying. So it's the whole thing that changed. The whole thing been changed. What used to be is not. Huh? Do you know 110 years ago somebody would say one day horses will be out to meet, they'll take your right ass to the mental hospital. Huh? The whole rhythm will change. Black Lives Matter, the Koch brothers, they paid for that. Okay? How you think it gets on Time Newsweek 3 times in a row? You fucking crazy. You look at those black churches, powerful churches, 75 $75 million. Where do you think them niggas get the money? Huh? So y'all so busy yakka. Where did they get the money when General Motors couldn't get along? British intelligence. That's what owns you, okay? That's what owns you. You just stop for a minute and then hang out with your buddies and talk. But you the old nigga, all they do was some pussy. All they do was some motherfucking pussy. Right? And that's the game. So you got one of the most dangerous things in the world here. Right there. I'm the one that told the world Kennedy didn't get shot in Dallas. He's a vegetable. He died April of 71. So what the fuck I want to talk to you about? Huh? Okay? You leave here tonight, get the picture of Clinton on the White House line with Monica Lewinsky. If he'd have came in here tonight, he'd have broke away. He thought he was kissing me. He said, how'd you know? I'm the one who told the whole world. He ain't never met that bitch. A little plump, no power, Jewish girl, motherfucker. When you go home and Google the pill, who got a machine here? Oh, hey, let me talk to you. Can you pull up something? Pull up Monica Lewinsky on the White House lawn with Clinton. And what you gonna see is all them people got on t-shirts, the bitch got on a winter outfit. The picture was cropped. Okay? You hear what I'm saying? All of President Obama's grades have been locked up by a federal judge for 75 years. Okay? All right? What was it? Woods? Alex Haley wrote Woods. Dog wrote Woods. He ain't wrote none of that shit. Okay? He never was a writer. They got this motherfucker out of naval intelligence. Okay? And all you got to do is pull up Kenta Cooper came out of the White Boy's book. Did it come up? See? See? See, that's what it is. So that's all. See, just keep your fucking mouth here and do what you do. Huh? Do what you do. Show me the side. I left my glasses in the bathroom. Is it Dick Richard? So one more question.
I don't know. You kind of with Benghazi. I'm in news and events right now, and they were talking about the Benghazi strike on 9/11. And they were talking about how
they didn't tell you he was gay, did they? The ambassador. That's what I'm saying. Huh? What's he doing walking down the street by himself when first they hate America, plus they hate gays? Huh? Okay? That's what the game is about, man.
All right, Dick Gregory, I'm not going to hold you up too long. I really appreciate it.
Let me close with this here. Her is a woman. The hurricane is the spirit of a black American woman. All hurricanes start right there in West Africa where the slaves was put on the boat. All hurricanes follow the path of the slave boat. No slave was offloading the ship till it got to the Bermuda and all that. No hurricane jumps above water until they get to that same spot. They hit this country and come all the way up the East Coast to Maine. Canada is as close to Maine as you are to me. Canada's never had one, but they ain't never fucked with a sister. Turns and go out the other way. Huh? Y'all locked into this old bullshit that the slave master, how you ignorant niggas can go buy drugs from the great-great-grandson of the slave owner. You motherfuckers crazy? Huh? Are you crazy? Huh? I said the whole thing, y'all was talking about the Jews did it. No. Hitler didn't have the Jews in slavery. The Jews been out of slavery 5,000 years. You ain't been out 500. So how you supposed to act, nigga? With all that shit still in your head. Huh? Sit around in the Lynch letter. You read it? What's his name?
John Lynch.
Yeah, how can you call yourself? And you ain't never read the motherfucker? You got to read it before you found out. White folks didn't talk that way 300 years ago. Huh? 300 years ago, our ancestors don't talk that way. That was the odds of the motherfucker's name, Lynch. So when we checked it out, even the CIA voted. Now, a professor out in San Francisco did the whole book on it. Okay? So that's what I'm saying now. It's a game. I'm in Egypt, and motherfucker, I did him a favor. And so he said, my job is to millionaire white folk come and I let them sleep under the pyramid to get the energy. I said, every time I sleep on my back, motherfucker, that's the pyramid. It gives off the same energy as that fake. Okay? This is what this is. This is what this is about. Niggas sitting around here now talking about you're going to do this, you're going to do that. The Massachusetts Institute of Technology is creating white faces. So all your shit's over. All your shit's over. The artificial intelligence took over. That's what that last movie was about. Okay? They'll tell, that's why them white folks is upset. I got a motherfucker taking care of my baby. And I said, they said, fuck you and throw the baby. That's where we are, nigga. Huh? And y'all fit in with this whole antiquated bullshit. Because white folks say you okay. You're not. You're not. That's what this is about. If we took 10 people here and started marching over suspension bridge anywhere, it would snap. Because this is the heart. The heartbeat. So if I want you to be a killer, I take you little punk ass, put you on and start you marching and take you back to your mama's womb. Then I make a killer out you. All right, then how come we don't have marching in jail and take them back to them and make a non-killer out of it? Okay, let me get out of here.
I appreciate you, Mr. Drake.
Thank you.
Heard him mention the Indigo children. The Indigos were born around 1985. These are children that have the IQ, that have the high spirit, that have the highest intelligence, that are walking this earth right now. And the Indigos will be the ones who are going to bring peace to this earth. My youth out here, this is your world now. It no longer belongs to the 30, 40, 50 and up. This is your world. You must shape your world. We had our turn to shape the world, and we failed you. We failed you by selling drugs to one another. We failed you by being jealous of one another. We failed you by not correcting you when you did something wrong. We completely failed you. And this is the condition that we left you in. It's now time for you all to take your power. It's time for you to shape your world. It's time for you to change this world. We had our turn. It's time for you to fight for your equality. It's time for you to fight for fair education. It's time for you to fight for equal pay. It's time for you to fight so when you have children, that they're living in a world where it's become a village again. That word nigger does not apply to them. That word doesn't belong to us. We all know what the meaning of the word nigger is. But yet we feel that we can use it on one another. But if someone else uses the word, then it becomes a problem. Yes, being white, you are automatically privileged. But you, the youth, can fight that. The elders before you fought so you can be on a platform like this, hoping that you would take your voices and create your world. We had our chance. Now it's yours. Snatch it and take it. Reshape it. Get all this evilness and all this hate and all this jealousy, put it all behind and change it over. Here we just had a teacher strike that just ended. Those children lost 11 days of school. Statistically, our children are 75 years behind in learning. That was due to slavery. And it was passed from generation to generation to generation. There are so many adults in their 30s and 40s that don't have a GED, don't have a high school diploma. Your world now, a GED and high school diploma is equivalent to you graduating from 8th grade. We all have been put in a bubble that we're all ignorant, we're all stupid, that it takes 3 times more for a young black man to get a job. It takes 3 times more for anyone of color to be respected. All you have to do is go into a store and they follow you around. Go for a college open fair where prominent colleges are there to recruit, and see how much attention you get. See how a lot of these children are being looked over. We're in a world of technology now. And all you have to do is look up one's name, and it tells you every social media that they're on. Back when I was working, yes, we did background checks on people. Now it's gone from background checks to checking every social account that you have, which is why you need to be very careful of the words that you say, of who you follow, of things that you're doing on social media. You have to prepare yourself to shape your world, because one day you're going to have children. And what kind of world are they going to have? The United States is on its belly right now. Every great empire falls, and the United States is just about falling. To get your votes now, they're making a promise of reparations. After 400 years of slavery, after the invasion of crack cocaine, now the invasion of heroin put in our community, you're seeing more families break up. You're seeing no man in the house. Here on the west side, they had an apartment building. People were lined up from the front of the apartment building all the way to the alley. And it was captured by the media. There's absolutely no way the alderman of that ward did not know what was going on. But yet no one stopped it. We're our worst enemy. You're now having gamers coming into the sector. When the platform of Google Hangovers was dismantled, and now people are using Streamlabs. They're using the same equipment that gamers are using to talk to one another. And now you're finding young gamers coming into this sector. YouTube is about to make a very, very big change. You see it now with recommendations that you're being asked now. They're also trying to compete against cable companies. So they're starting to advertise more. If this sector continues as it is, they'll wipe it completely out. No company wants to be represented in the way that we talk, speak, treat one another. No one wants to sit up and watch a grown person sit up and curse out a young person who's on their job, doing their job, and have to be escorted out of a place of business. We get highly upset when someone from a white sector comes over into this sector and they express their opinion. Well, where are they getting it from? They're sitting up watching the same videos that you all are producing. They're sitting up watching us call each other black bitches, black whores, speaking on children, putting people's information out about them. It's not them that has to change. It's us. I don't own the word nigga. We all know the definition of it. And we feel like it's okay that we call one another that word. We've accepted it, but you know the definition of it, and you still use it. What are you leaving the youth? Exactly what are you leaving the youth? There's a whole lot of young people in this sector. And as elders, rather than teaching them something, rather than sitting up and calling someone a bitch and saying that it's entertainment, or doxing someone, or bringing up something that someone experienced as a child and now they're an adult. Had I walked up in that establishment and saw an older black woman acting that way, I would have said out loud, I can't stand nigger behavior. That's exactly what's being exhibited in this sector. It's nigger behavior. Ignorant, loud, don't know the difference between an inside voice or an outside voice. Calling their kids everything but their name. Making it harder to be recruited for schools. Undisciplined. And these teachers here refuse to return back to the schools until they got more security, nursing, and social work. We all knew when drugs hit in the 80s that those kids were going to grow up. And no one prepared for them. Not one person. We all know in Flint that the water is full of lead. And now some of these kids are school age and they have brain damage. And they're not able to learn at the same rate as other children. And what do? Nothing. We sit on a platform. We're the most detrimental people to one another. out of clicks and views, out of receiving donations. That's all that matters. It used to be a village, now it's become self. But you young ones, it's time to take this world into your hands. In 2020, YouTube is doing an entire change, and this sector may not last. It's got to be cleaned up. Some of these people have been on YouTube for 10, 15 years. They've seen the change from where you used to be able to come to this sector and learn from one another to now being the most racist towards one another. We're the ones that put people in categories of skin color and question if they're black or if they're white, or light skin against dark skin, or who has edges and who doesn't have edges. This is the information that we're giving to the youth. Instead of encouraging them to take what they have and run with it. Encouraging them to self-educate themselves. Any type of encouragement. Encouraging them to invest in themselves. I started investing in myself at 27 because I realized time doesn't go back, it goes forward. And I knew the day was going to come that if I didn't start then, I wouldn't have anything. We're moving back to the time of social workers coming into the home. History always repeats itself. That I encourage any youth to not depend on the government for anything. The United States is broke. Every empire falls, and the United States has fallen. Your votes mean something. And what each candidate is doing now is promising reparations that should have been given years and years ago. If some of our black lawyers studied that Constitution, studied the promises made to blacks after emancipation, just like the Black American Indians did, and were awarded casinos and reparations. As a matter of fact, another Indian tribe was just given a casino. So the money made goes back to the people. But yet we still have nothing. Be careful what you let in your ears. Be careful what you let in your eyes. Know that this universe is connected to your spirit. Take what man calls the new year and reflect on your life. Everybody makes dream boards, which is fine. But the Most High said, all you have to do is ask. Claim it. Put it in the Most High's hands and leave it alone. And then do what's asked of you. So you have a holiday coming up. Volunteer for those that are not fortunate enough, those that don't have a family that they can go to. Instead of throwing away clothes that you can no longer fit, donate them. And I don't mean to the green boxes that they have out on the street. Take them to shelters. Take them to places where people live that don't have a roof over their heads. Give back, because there might be a time where you come in need. And as the Most High said, when you give from your heart, and you don't speak on it. Because speaking on it is you giving from your ego. When you receive, you share. We're not one another's niggas. We're supposed to be one another's brothers and sisters. There was too many people that lost their lives. And I'm not just talking about slavery. I'm talking about in the 60s, in the 70s. Fred Hampton's son is working in California and working in Chicago. And at 55 degrees below zero weather, he and the baby cubs were out on the street giving away food, giving away blankets. Join some of these organizations, these black organizations. Why is it always the white youth that come out and protest? Why is it always the white youth that you see doing volunteer work for our people? Why is it when you go to jail and they give you a court-appointed attorney, it's not one of yours? It's always a white one that you're dependent upon to make sure that you get fair and equal treatment. So take this world, shape this world, so you have a world where your children can go outside and play, where you don't have to fear when they leave the home. I want to apologize for not doing enough work when I was younger. I did my fair share of protesting, of sitting every Saturday at Rainbow Push, working with Jesse Jackson, going to the mosque, watching the minister stop a West Coast, East Coast genocide over words. And that same thing is happening on YouTube. So it's not them that needs to change, it's us. We have to change the perception that has been put on us since slavery. We have to burst that bubble that they have us all in. I'm tired of going into stores and being followed around. And here in Chicago, in the wintertime, stores don't allow you to come in with ski masks on to help protect you from the wind and the cold. Some stores don't allow you to wear hoodies. So you need to change that perception. Stop the trending and develop your world.